Hey guys, I'm back here for another review, and today I'm going to be doing a review for the film Slaughter Daughter. And I actually got sent a link to this movie a long time ago by the executive producer of the film, Dustin Hubbard. He sent me a link to the film. I think it was over a year ago, maybe, and for some reason I just never got around to watching it. So, Dustin, I know you're watching this review, so sorry that it took me so long to check it out. I, I honestly don't really have an excuse. I just never got around to watching it. But, yeah, I finally did, and I must say this was a pretty good, cool indie flick. Basically the film begins, and you see a woman sitting in front of a mirror, and she's got a wedding dress on, and she's you can tell she's getting ready to get married. And she looks like an older woman. I wouldn't say very old. I would say, I don't know. I'm trying to give a good a description of I'm trying to give a good idea of how old she is. I'd say maybe in her 30s or so. And her mother comes in, and her mother looks at her and says, "I'm sorry, but he's not coming." And then she tries to tell her, "Oh, it's okay, baby, don't cry. He was a piece of shit, and you deserve so much better than him." And that's when you realize that something snaps in her, and she ends up just getting really angry and begins tearing out parts of her hair, and she starts screaming for her mother. Then it cuts to time has passed, and you see her up in her room, and she's darkened out she's closed the shades. It's pretty dark in her room, and she's sitting there watching TV, and there's a news report on about a serial killer that has been going around killing different women, torturing them and stuff, and you can tell that she's you can tell she's really interested in him. You also see her mother, and there's also her mother is you can tell is kind of I guess you could say a preppy type woman. You can tell she kind of has she's like one of those people that they are very wealthy, and you can kind of tell that she kind of has this sort of esteemed thing about her, like she feels like she might be up above other people. And there's also another woman that is that lives in the house named Rima, who you're not really sure what her. I didn't really get her connection. I thought it was the main woman in the film. Her name is Farah, by the way, the main daughter. I thought that Rima was her sister, but it turned out that she's not. But yeah, you find out that Farah has actually been up in that room for up to 2 years now, ever since her husband walked out on her, during her after her wedding, and she's pretty much just been living up there, and you can tell that she has a love interest in the killer that she is seeing all these different news reports about. Well, one night her mother ends up coming home, and she's getting married, and you can tell, and this sort of causes Farah to snap more. She's angry and upset. Well, first of all, she already has a hatred for her mother and for the other woman, Rima, that lives there with them, and now the fact that she's getting married, it just reminds her of her being stood up on her wedding, and she just has this so much hatred and anger towards her mother and the man that she's marrying, and so she decides to write a letter to the serial killer. At this point, he is actually on death row at this point, and while she does this, she ends up cutting off her finger and mailing it, and her mother ends up finding her, and she is sent to I believe it's a mental hospital, and while she's there, and the woman Rima comes and talks to her and says, hey, your mother's getting married. This is 6 months. 6 months or so has passed after she, wrote the letter to the killer and cut off her finger and sent it to him. And and Rima says, your mother's getting married, and we want you to be there, and your brother's coming too, and we want, you know, everybody to come back and be just a nice, happy family again. Well, of course, Farah, you know, realizes that this is probably her way of getting out, and so she agrees to go. She mainly uses it as her excuse to go see the killer, who she actually does go meet. I forget his name, but she actually does get a chance to meet him, and you know, she tells him, you know, who she is, and automatically they you know, she wants to continue his killing spree. She wants to basically murder her entire family as a way of pleasing him. And you know, I really don't want to give too much into it. That's pretty much the main plot point of the story. You know, it's just basically her wanting to get revenge on her entire family during this wedding, and going to the wedding where her mother's at, and just basically trying to please this killer that she is in love with, that she adores, and that she pretty much wants to follow in his footsteps in some way. Now my thoughts on this: I thought that it was a pretty decent indie film. You know, the acting was pretty good for the most part. There are a few twists and turns in it that I didn't really see coming, which I did enjoy. I mean, like, for one thing, the other woman that lives there, Rima, you find out how she's related to how her relationship is to the mother, and you know, you also meet the brother of Farah's, the brother of Farah and his girlfriend as well. I thought that the woman who played Farah, who her name escapes me, I thought she did a really good job. You know, she really had this sort of off about her. You know, you could really, that she played a really good, I guess you could say, a really good sort of crazy woman. You know, she acts, you know, she really dark throughout the entire film, and really quiet, and really keeps to herself. And she has a lot of anger throughout the entire film. And then when she snaps, you can really tell that she snaps. And she's really good at, you know, staying calm and not acting any in any crazy way until she actually goes in for a kill. And I thought it was you know, so good acting all around, I must say. The gore in it is pretty good. I felt that there were some points in it where the gore was a bit unnecessary, and there was just a lot of blood in certain scenes that I didn't think that there should have been as much blood, but that's just my own preference of it. I won't give too much away, but there's one scene where Farah actually strangles somebody, and blood begins coming out of their mouths and their eyes, and I've never really seen that. I didn't even think that blood could come out of someone's mouth for being strangled. It might be, I mean, I never heard of that. It might be stupid because I didn't think that. I don't know, but yeah, honestly, I thought it was a pretty decent independent film. You could probably check the film out on Facebook. It's called Slaughter Daughter, like I said, and I'm sure that there are. I'll probably check out some links and to post it to buy it. It's a pretty, like I said, pretty decent independent flick, and I think it was pretty enjoyable. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed my review. And Dustin, once again, I'm sorry it took me so long to check out the film. You know, I don't have an excuse, and I know that this review is far overdue, so I apologize. But thank you once again for sending me the link to it. I really did think this was a pretty good film, and yeah, so thank you, Dustin, once again. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed my review. I'll be back soon for another video, and I hope everybody is enjoying this weather. It's springtime, finally. We can get away from this damn cold, you know, during the winter time. I'm so glad it's finally spring and the weather's warming up. So I hope you guys are enjoying the nice weather, and I'll see you guys later.